So the start of this vlog has been a little messy. Started in Florida, ended up staying for a few extra days. So that kind of messed up the whole timing of everything. And then I played the 2K yesterday. Basically was I was planning to do the end of the vlog for that tournament, but it was like the most boring tournament ever for me. Like the supercard did most of the tournament and then lost the flip, and that was me out of there. Nothing too fun. But today is Thursday. It's 1B of the PokerStars Festival main. Is just there. It's about 2 p.m. now, so running a little late, but still plenty of play. What I'll do is I'm just going to go reg now. I'm going to update you guys. First break.
Hello. Look at the position.
Okay, so break number 1, 30k start stack. I got in at 150, 300, so 100 big blinds, so I missed the first 2 levels. Nothing too much exciting happened. The very first table I had Kev Allen and Fraser Mack on my table, two good friends of mine. Played one half interesting hand where I opened 7-8 of diamonds under the gun 1 to 800 at 300 big blind. The small blind calls and Fraser the big blind calls 2. Freeway comes 10, 4, 5, 2 hearts, 1 spade. Check, check. I bet like just over a bit less than third pot. I bet 1150. Small blind folds. Fraser calls. Turns jack of spades, bringing 2 flush draws. He checks. I bet 51 into about 4. Planning to triple off, and he folds the turn. So won that hand. Other than that, I've sat mind a few times, and it's gone multi-way, and not much else to do other than miss the flop and check fold. Not really much has happened. So now I've got 26,000 from 30, so down a little, and the big blind is 600 when we're back. So hopefully I can make it through the end of the day off tomorrow, because there's like a half party lined up tonight that I would like to go to, but see what happens.
Anybody tables 1 to 12 is going to go downstairs with Maris. Anybody above that is going to come with me.
Okay, sorry. We love your t-shirt, by
You do?
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's very citrusy.
Citrusy?
It's very citrusy.
That's what I was going for.
I know.
Okay, so second break, which is technically the third break now. It's dinner break. Managed to double up, open aces in the cutoff, 2300. Big blind calls. It comes 10, 8, 3, 2 hearts. He checks. I bet 1800. He makes it 53. I call. Turn pairs the 2. He's all in. He sets me in for like 1.5x pot something. I call. He's got 10-9 of hearts, so he's got top pair and a flush draw. Managed to hold, so I was up to like 55. Then squeezed 8-6 of hearts when it loose low jack opens. And the cutoff who's been pretty free but happy, just flats. I squeeze 8-6 of hearts in the small blind to 9k, but then give up post on jack 10 free, 2 clubs. Just feel like it smashes his range. Another hand, open queen jack of hearts under the gun. Big blind defends, comes 9-7, 7, 2 spades. He checks, I bet third pot he calls, turns a 10, he checks, I bet 2 thirds, and now he check raises to like, I think I bet 65 into like 9 on the turn, and he raises to like 16 pretty quickly, and I just folded. I feel like he's mainly got houses there. He's not really messing around against me. It seemed like the kind of player who wasn't really going to come after me. Then, other than that, not too much has happened. I have 45k-ish now, back at 12 at a big blind, and I'm going to go have some food.
Yeah, that's fine, yep.
Gonna win this spin, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Promise?
Yeah. Big promise. So Saturday morning now. I've actually got to go over the Hipjohn a bit earlier for a couple of stars things and interview. But then we're going to be starting day 2, 175k, going into I think 2k big blind. So hopefully after the interviews, I'll do a quick update and talk to you then, and if not, the first break.
First one. Yeah.
Yo, so first break, pretty uneventful. I've gone from 175 down to 150, back at 4k big blind. Basically just either open pre-flop, had to give up post. Had one hand, a free bet hijack versus MP with ace jack. The small blind called 4, and we should raise a 5 bet all in. Folded, and then just before the break, I peeled a free bet out position with king jack suited, and had to check fold on 10 deuce deuce with none of my suit. Yeah, so like just under 40 big blinds when we're back. But okay, I think we're getting close-ish to the money. I'll update the next break. Okay, so break number 2 now. I have 270k now, going into 6k big blind with, I think we're 3, maybe 2 off the money. For a while, just was pretty card dead. Didn't really do much. Opened a few times, made some, not even any really nitty folds to be honest. Just not really much happened. And then the very last hand before the break, pro opens under the gun to 12k at 5k big blind. A guy who's playing pretty loose pre, calls on the small blind. I have jack 9 of spades in the big blind, I call. It comes king 9 deuce, 2 hearts, 1 spade. So decent flop. The small blind like ponders for a while and then leads for 16-5 into what, about 40-45ish. I call, under the gun folds. The turn is an offsuit 3. Now he ponders again a little bit and leads again, 25k, and with about 70 behind. It's getting a little dicey now, but I think we're getting a good enough price, and we block king jack of spades, and I'm not really sure if he goes 3 streets with just a bare king just on the bubble. Block a set of 9s, and so you can only really have deuces. I don't really think he's just going to go for it on 3 streets with king queen here, just given his particular play type. So I call. The river is an offsuit 4, and now he quickly bets again, like puts his chips down really hard, like slams them down, but 25k again with like some small chips and big chips, I don't know, it just looked kind of weak. And obviously getting a great price too, decided to call, and he just says you're good and max, so pretty nice to win that hand. And now, yeah, 270k, a few off the money, hopefully try and put a bit of pressure on now and build up a bit of a stack, and then power on towards the final table. Alright, see you next break. You know what this means? Out of the main event. This is actually the next day. I'm hungover as fuck because I went out last night after I finished playing. Didn't really have a chance to do a wrap up and was a little tilted too, so there's a couple of hands to go over. I ended up finishing in 96th place for 1800. So effectively a min cash. I'm just gonna hibernate today, to be honest. I'm not feeling great. And then in a day or so, I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. Okay, a couple days later, obviously I've busted the main event, 96th place. Couple of interesting hands actually. I'm gonna grab a quick water. I'm gonna grab a quick water. So a couple of days later, pretty disappointing result in the end. Ended up getting like 96th place, something like that. Couple of interesting hands. I didn't quite have time to do it at the end of the day, but I wrote some of them down just so I could properly recap them. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so hand number 1. Folded round to me on the button. I have around 320k-ish at 6k big blind. Look down, Queen 9 of diamonds, a very open hand obviously. I make it 13k on the button. Big blind calls, and the flop comes 10, 8, 7, rainbow. He checks, I continuation bet 18k, and now he check raises to 45k. So 10, 8, 7 rainbows, 1 diamond, so I've got backdoor flush draw, up and down straight draw, pretty good flop. Don't exactly just want to rifle in 320k on there, and don't really want to free bet the flop and then either fold or call off, to be honest. Maybe some merits doing that against certain players, but you know, in a live 1k, I'm going to be taking a pretty low variance line most of the time. I think my edge against the field is playing a lot of smaller pots rather than trying to gamble up and play big pots in a marginal situation. Sometimes you have to, and sometimes it's few often do it anyway, but as like a rule of thumb, you kind of be wanting to play in a lower variance route in general. Turn now brings a 9, so 4 to a straight on the board gives us a pair of 9s. We still have the gut shot straight draw, and now he tanks for a little bit and checks. Now, I think we have quite a few straights here. I think he's just very likely to continue betting if he does have a straight. Now, if you think about all the hands that get to the turn from our point of view, we're gonna have some overpairs, some 10x, some hands like ours, like 9x suited, some traps, some stuff with backdoors, and if thinking about our hand overall, it's pretty much one of the worst hands we get to the turn with. So after he checks, I decide to start bluffing. He checks and I bet 64k into I think around 130ish, and he calls. Expect him to be check calling a fair amount. The river's a brick, river is 4 of spades, and he checks again. Now there's around 240k in there, and basically we want to be value betting quite a few hands here. I think we could possibly still value bet sets here against his range, definitely all straights. And we don't really get to the river with that many bluffs, so I decided to go on the smaller side to hopefully get a crying fold out of some of his weaker 2 pairs, and hopefully to make it look quite value heavy. So he checks and I bet 81k, and he folds fairly quickly, so we win that one. So now we're up to about 400, 450k, loving life. Hand number 2. Folds round to us in the small blind, and we limp in with 7, 8 of spades. Big blind, he checks. Flop comes 2, 3, 4, 2 spades. So we've got 2 overcards, flush draw, pretty great flop for us. Big blind was 8k now. We have around 400k. We just decided to go ahead and bet 12k. He calls. Turn is a 10, offsuit 10. We decided to continue betting. I think we've got enough equity here, and he's going to have, sometimes he's got ace-x, sometimes he's going to have a weaker 1-pair hand, and we want to put those hands under pressure. So we go ahead and bet 3/4 pot. We bet 32k, and he calls. So the river is 10, pairs the 10, complete miss for us. But he's got a hell of a lot of hands on the river, which are going to be put under a lot of pressure. He might have got stubborn on the turn with an ace-high type hand. You could have a better flush draw than us, which is called the turn, which obviously all of those beat us, and we can't let a hand like King 8 suited win. Oh, sorry, King 6 suited win, King 5 suited. So I think we want to be betting and betting quite big. I actually think I could overbet in this spot. I think I could maybe even bet bigger than I did. We have a hell of a lot of value here going into the river, and there's so many hands that are going to be put under huge pressure. And although it could be tempting to call because there is the misdraws, we just can't check this hand. It has to be a hand that we bluff with. So I go ahead and bet close to the pot. I think I bet 92k, and he tanks for a long time and ends up making a really good call with ace 2. So yeah, bit of an own there, and yeah, so that kind of took the wind out of us a little bit. Basically folded for a while after that. Got reshoved on a couple of times. And this hand comes up where we have 260k, 270k-ish. We open Queen 10 of hearts in the hijack, and the cutoff free bets to 48k after we make it 20. Falls right round to us, and a little awkward. We could maybe just go ahead and just 4-bet shove this, to be honest. I think even myself sometimes I do get a little bit peel happy in these situations rather than just bombing it in. Anyway, I don't really think we can fold getting this price with a hand with this good of equity. So we call, and the flop comes ace, 10, 8, 1 heart, 2 spades. I check, and he bets 50k. So he bets a little under half pot. It's getting a little dicey, this situation now. Stack to pot ratio is getting quite a bit shallower, but obviously we can't fold on this flop. We call, and the turn brings the Queen of spades. So we turn 2 pair, there's now 3 spades on board. We have a little under pot back left. I actually went back and forth in game in this about the decision. I think there's merit to checking. Obviously we can induce some bluffs, but pre-flop I think even if when the times he is bluffing, he's going to have a lot of more Broadway blocker type hands like King Queen, Jack Queen, hands like that. Or like ace-x. So I think the turn actually goes check a hell of a lot, and giving a hand like ace-king, kings, a free card, king-queen, even though we're ahead, it's kind of equity protection is fairly important in this situation at this point in the tournament. So I decided to just go ahead and shove the turn. He's going to find it difficult to fold with ace-x, and he might be priced into call with hands like king-queen with the king of spades, for example. So I shove the turn, he snaps. He's got ace queen, horrific turn for us. Now we're drawing to 2 outs. Just drawing pretty much dead. Brick the river. And that's us out of there. Boring. Yeah, so cash for 1800. Not too exciting. And that was that. But a little bit of news. Shut up. But a little bit of news, we've actually got, I've personally got a, what is that? So I've actually got a bit of an announcement coming up. It's a PokerStars project. I can't say too much about it yet, but hopefully there's going to be an announcement in the next, well, I don't know exactly when, but it's going to be coming soon. I'm going to vlog about exactly what's going to happen, and stay tuned because it's going to be exciting. And another thing, I had a little trip up to Nottingham after the PokerStars London Festival at the Hippodrome. Went pretty well. Well, I may as well spoil a bit of it. I won the high roller for 42k, and then this happened. I'm going to be making the next video I'm going to be making is going to be specifically what the hell happened, why I did it, what was going through my head, and a little bit of the aftermath because it went pretty viral and it was a pretty wild week. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to be going to Irish Open in a day or so too, so hopefully I'll be able to fire these vlogs out a little bit quicker. I had a little technical issue with the upload of them, but fixed now, ready to go, and I'll see you guys soon.